Maybe I should stop drinking. Hold on a second. Well, what's up, peasants and serfs on YouTube? Yes, the king is here. And I'm here to tell you there was a lot of work going into today's action. A lot of work. And if you weren't prepared to do some work, you probably lost money today. It's been a grind, it's been a struggle, but we're winning. This is the opposite of awesome today. This is work. This is choppy, awful tape, but we managed to find our winners. We're milking it right now. Still long this Dollar General. This is long-term investing for me. I've been long since 10 o'clock this morning. Still in it. Sold some for a loss. Bought it back. Working it. Shorted the CRM. Finally made some money. Shortened the crowd. Just got stopped out. Thinking about getting back in immediately. Oh, nope. Missed it. By the way, if anybody's short the crowd, that freaking candle got me out. Damn it. And by the way, that's why I don't use stops. It's fucking criminal what just happened right there. I finally get short at 224. I'm like, all right, I got to short this thing at least once today, right? But again, I waited for it, and I waited for it, and then I waited for some more. And then I waited some more, and then I finally got it. I'm like, all right, cool. I can short 224, risking 85 cents. I'm in. Goes down, I cover. As soon as I was like, you know what? I'm sitting here. I don't need to put a stop on. I was like, you know what? I want to get a cup of coffee. Let me put a stop on. As soon as I let go of the button, it's like, and I only had 78 shares. Why does Ken Griffin care about Kenny Glick 78 shares? I don't know. But I put a stop at 23 and a quarter. It rips me out of my shares and immediately goes down to 2 points that I was counting on. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. But that's what happens on these grindy, fucking annoying, choppy days. That's why I'm outsmarting it. Oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud just now. But I bought the Dollar General I almost top ticked my way in. Should have been buying here. 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 You know, I finally buy it at 31.50. I'm up $1. Yay! Look at me. And next thing you know, I'm down. I only had 100 shares. Normally, I would just eat it. But I was like, you know what? All right, little faux show, bro. So I bought another 100 shares. Uh-oh. That ain't good. The faux show did not bro. Normally, I eat the trade right now. But I was like, you know what? Let's work it. It's a $130 stock, chopping around in a 2.5 point range, standard procedure on a squat douchey kind of day. If it gets down to that 129, I'm going to have to eat it. Look where it went, 129.10. But then look what happened there. Sold I sold a couple of shares after I bought it, a couple of shares out for a loss, a couple more shares out for a loss. And then right here, I realized, oh, that was a fake out, shakeout. Fuck this. I'm buying it right back at 29 and a quarter. Then I'm selling now at 130 and a 40 for a profit. Now we're selling 131 for a profit. And look at me in your face. Now, hopefully, it goes to 132.50. Hopefully. But look at the crowd. See? And let me show you the CRM trade. Just did this same exact scenario. And again, I wish I was still in it, but I'm not. But this is, again, if you're just joining us, hi, my name's Kenny Glick. My mentors were Joey, Kyle, and Isaac. You've heard me tell stories about Isaac. Isaac told me never to come into a day with a bias, meaning you're looking to buy or you're looking to sell, and that's your bias for the day. I used to live by that law until I found VWAP. Now I use the price action. So now, as much as everything Isaac has taught me still works to the day, I've altered the bias thing. So my bias, and again, it fucked me up on the dicks the other day because my bias was to look to buy some, and I just felt compelled to give it a shot. And it was a terrible, terrible idea. I lost 2.5 points. Who gives a shit? I wound up making it back the next day. Anyway, so today my bias was to look for a short on CRM. First of all, because I hate this stock. Second of all, because I hate this stock and I hate every stock. And I don't like to buy stocks that are gapped up on earnings. But right here, it was Andy Dufresne and Kardashian bottom and breaking. There ain't no reason to be shorting. There's a reason to load up boat and Call your friends to get involved. And then it breaks out, holds the VWAP from on top. There ain't no reason to be short. There's a reason to be buying it. And what am I doing? I'm just sitting there going, well, I ain't buying it. Fuck this stock. Meanwhile, if you were buying it, you're laughing your ass off thinking, why isn't Kenny buying this? Stupid. But just like the ANF yesterday, right? ANF was a gap and go. I don't trade the gap and goes. I wish I would have. It was a 30-point up move, but then here comes our chance. You're waiting all freaking morning. You got your blow off top. You got your bearish engulfing candle. You got your rollover. Short the damn thing finally. And that's where we're at right now. So CRM, right? I waited. And then I waited some more. Missed it. Didn't miss this one because it got back to the 250 for 13 different times. How many times is it going to give me a chance? Kenny, you got a chance. 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 What are you doing? All right, I'll take the shot. 250 gets me 247.50. Have a nice day at the day's pay. So that worked. So I went over to look at the crowd. Same scenario. Wish I bought it. I don't like buying gapped up stocks. I don't know. Obviously, if you would have bought it, it's fantastic. Faux show, bro. VWAP break. Why didn't you buy it? I don't know, because my bias was to look for a short. See, there's where Isaac comes in. My bias was to look for a short, but my bias was wrong, so I didn't short it. Then it goes sideways, and then I could start thinking, hey, Isaac, can I address my bias now? And he says, sure. Now that you have risk reward in your favor, you dummy. Okay. Well, I'll short it here at 224 and I'll make some money. And I got stopped out right there and I'm missing out on some of this trade. But really, this day is just nothing going on, right? The moves, the better moves were the aftermarket while we were schmoozing last night, the overnight session. This is a grind, right? And you got to realize that. That's why I'm doing 200 share, 300 share lots, no option trades today. Usually trading options on Thursday, but you cannot trade options on a squadoushi, grindy bull market day. And that's what we're in right now. Consolidation, chop. Can you scalp? Hell yeah. That's all I've done. I mean, Best Buy was more than a scalp. Best Buy was phenomenal. That was the best trade of the day. If you guys were with us last night. Classic. I ain't shorting a stock that's gapped down on earnings. That's my bias. Isaac tells me not to have bias, but I see a faux show, bro, on a stock that I had bias to buy. There it is. I'm in, Isaac. I'm in. I don't care about what you say. Bias confirmation, and then the faux show, bro, VWAP break on an earnings report. Fuck, I'm in. I'm still in. And if you weren't in, this is where you could have got in again. Fake him out, shake him out, VWAP break on a stock that was gapped down on earnings. And this was the only disappointment of the day. Not getting to that 85.20, and I sacrificed $200 on my last 100 shares, and I got stopped out at almost the worst price of the whole freaking morning so far. And that's where we're at. And you see that move right there? That's brought to you by Faux Show Bro in a market that never goes down. Ever. So if you guys have been hearing me, right, it's very hard to comprehend this moment, right? But I'll explain it one more time. Right now, I'm super bullish. That's super short term. Now, short term overall, still bearish because I do think this market's got some issues that need to be addressed. And I do think the Qs could literally go still back to 685. But right now, in the moment, you cannot be bullish after what NVIDIA said. So I'm keeping my near-term bearishness to myself. And also, overall, big, massive picture with structural change and structural, whatever the structural thing that you're into, I believe we're in an industrial revolution. I believe in the structural move of this entire market. And I do think the Qs are going to 3,000 in the next 10 years. And what does that mean to anybody? Nothing. Because I don't really care as long as Dollar General gets over 32.50. But that's where I'm at right now. But we are in some choppy, bullish, squadoushi market. So let's talk about Isaac one more time. You're ignoring every down move because your bias today is to crush shorts. How do you crush shorts on a Squadushi day? You got to wait for them to get set up. And how do they get set up? Faux shows and VWAP breaks. And there's another one. So this is why the bias confirmation is the play. So it's an alteration of my Isaacism where you're not supposed to be biased. But if you're coming in biased, just let the VWAP and the price action confirm the bias, then you put the trade in. The Isaac is telling me don't place trades based on your bias. And the reason you don't want to come in biased, your brain, right, is what usually gets in the way of all good trades. Your brain is so you're thinking one thing, and then you're not going to see what's right in front of your face clearly because of that bias. Right? That's where I've altered it. I could come in with a small bias because I came in thinking, ooh, Best Buy down on earnings. I can't wait to buy this. All right. There's my bias, right? And then the opening candle, I was like, hell yeah. So somebody probably said, wait, I thought you wanted to buy it. You're happy it's going down? Yeah, of course. I want to buy it. And then by the time I was saying hell and yeah, I'm already buying it on the move back up, knowing that I can buy it at 78.50, classic 2.5 point range, 78.50, 78.75, risking 2 points because the hard out is your bottom of the move, knowing that I'm probably going to get a VWAP retrace. So what was I doing? Risking about, I'm going to do the math. Let's do easy math. 78.50 entry, 76.50 risk, $2. VWAP at the time was 81.79. 78.50 entry, risking 2 to possibly make 3 and change. And then I'm looking at the orange line. If I'm right, I'm buying 78.50 with a risk of 2 to maybe make 5 to 7. I'm in. Working it. A little disappointed that I didn't get out at above. And listen, I had high hopes. When we got to 84.50, I was ready to guarantee this thing was going to go green. And it still might. But the way I trade is sell on the way up, use those prices on the way down if I get stopped out, and they got me. Good night. Have a nice day. And that's the day. And there's not really much going on. So if you came in thinking they were going to be fireworks, this is actually not surprising. This is bullish confirmation, bullish consolidation. And bullish consolidation is quite often boring. And it brings me back to my main point, why I hate bull markets. Because you get a lot of these days where all the action was in the aftermarket the prior day, the overnight, and then you come into this where you're sitting around for 3 hours. You got to scrape together your living. I mean, it's a job, but I'd rather have some bigger rips and rolls and rips, and you got nothing right now. Next thing you know, you look up, it's 12 o'clock. You managed to make a day's pay. The overnights we held on NVIDIA and Qs worked. What more can you ask for, right? Maybe tomorrow will be a bit more active. But you know what? Then you realize it's August 28th. And 2026 has been the greatest trading year you've ever seen in your life. You deserve 2 weeks off. Deserves got nothing to do with it. This Dollar Tree stinks. Oh, you got to be kidding. All that work for nothing. Wow, that just sucked. You got it, kids. The master just got stopped out. That absolutely just sucked. You know why? Sure, it's a little bit of money out the window. But man, it worked so hard to get out of that Andy Dufresne. It worked so hard to get over the VWAP. 2 faux shows. We get to that 132 only to get smashed right back down to 30.5. That sucked. And you know what? That'll be it for me. I'm out. I was counting my chickens. But let me tell you the story about what we're going to do now, right? I got nowhere really to be. When I say I'm leaving, I'm just going to go eat some oatmeal and just come right back. Right? Now that I just got stopped out of the Dollar General, right? I keep saying Dollar Tree, it's the DG. At least it wasn't a loss. Right? And I know you're going to laugh at this, but I netted $42.63. But it was like a $500 loss at one point. All that freaking battling, all of that for $42.63. Thank you. My name is Kenny Glick. We're all getting rich as day traders. Yeah. But you know what? I didn't lose. Somebody else took a beat down on that, probably, who bought 1,000 shares at $31.50, got freaked out and dumped it all at $129 for like a $1,200 loss. Meanwhile, I'm grinding it out and I managed to make a profit. But that sucked. Wow. Now that, as much as I'm happy I got out, I was sitting here going, this is going to be awesome. I just outsmarted the market. I got it at a better price. Look at me go. And 20 minutes later, I'm out, and I'm happy I'm out. All right. On that note, what do you guys want to do? Because this is as squadouchy as you can be. This is terrible. Terrible. Meanwhile, I'm 6 for 6. Right? I got no losses. What? Right? Right? We had the NVIDIA overnight winning. Q's overnight winning. Shorted NVIDIA this morning for $1. That's all I got out of it. Winning. CRM just won. CrowdStrike, I made a little bit of money. This Dollar General worked my ass off to get that freaking dollar out of that. Almost lost, it was almost about to be about a $750 hit. And I managed to make $46 on it. That's an awesome trade. It ain't about the money, right? It's about what we just experienced, right? On this Dollar Tree for an hour and a half of having to work. But making $43, what did I make? Collectively, I think, about $42 on that trade. Better than losing $550. And look, I didn't want to get out. That's why I put a stop. I was like, all right, now that I'm making some money, there's no way I'm letting this thing break. And there it went. Right? It's not me thinking about it. Up here, I'm like, all right, if this thing rolls over again, I'm definitely getting out. I wasn't thinking it was going to roll over. Right? I'm thinking, here we go, baby. We just here we're going to go. And we didn't. And then it broke 30.5. All the emotion, all my woulda, coulda, shouldas, all what am I going to do about it? Let me think about it. No, I ain't thinking about shit. Breaks the VWAP after getting up to where I needed to be. I'm done. But now what am I thinking? I'm thinking, you know what? If they faux show bro this thing down here, maybe we do it again. I don't know. I'm in the driver's seat. You're in the driver's seat. This is what we do. By the way, the market's not going down today, right? If anybody was thinking that was going to happen, we're not going down. Just a bullish consolidation day. That's all we're going to get. What do you think about lotto plays at the end of the day? I'm not. This is the day that if you look at your P&L and you're green, run away. You're about to do something really stupid. Well, how does he know what I'm going to do? I know. But the Dollar Tree is in my head now. It knows. He said he was going to do it. And he didn't do it. Now let's rip 3 points. Oh, my God. Imagine it goes up 3 points right now. I might have to break something. But it would be kind of funny if it did. But I don't really care at this point. Look, we showed you, we exemplified everything that you need to know about trading all in the last 48 hours. Did anybody have to hold the overnight? No. I mean, NVIDIA worked. I'm glad, right? But you could have bought it this morning at 220 and change and made the same 4 points. Did you have to hold the Qs overnight? No. They're still the same price as they were at 5 o'clock, basically, from yesterday. Still the same basic price. Going nowhere. But you know what I am interested in is Myrna. Because every time this stock goes down, buyers show up at some point, right? That I'm interested in. You know why? Because this stock has paid us on the long side every day since the news came out. Even on the day where it's down 28 points, we managed to catch 3 nice scalps for 2.5 and 5 point moves. Stock's a beast. It's awesome. And it's also doing that thing that you love. What is that thing we love? Creating an ass crack Andy Dufresne. That's why. Right? Sideways, top, butt cheek, sideways action. You break the top. You're not waiting. You buy it. What price is that? Wouldn't you know? 140. Right? So here, let's send this order just to put it in cyberspace, right? Looking to buy Moderna, mRNA, 140 with a 138.50 stop, right? So it's setting up for that. So now you just wait. Breaks to 140, buy it, because that's where you get. And look how beautiful. What's our target price? 142.50. But in the middle right there, you sell some at the 141 with your target at 142.50. And that is also the VWAP. That looks pretty interesting. That's worth my time to sit here staring at it. Better than Dollar General. Wasting my freaking day. And by the way, this Dollar General, that's me. If you bought it at a better price, that was a fantastic trade. I just got in late and had to go to work for the last 2 hours. Fighting. So now let's look at the Moderna 140s. Maybe we do find something to do today. Uh-oh. Here they come. Moderna 140s. I better put my glasses on for this. Hold on a second. All right. As I'm trying to put the order in, it'll probably start breaking 140 because this market's in my head right now. Why not just buy it right now? Somebody said. You know what? Why not? Did you do it? All right. I'm rooting for you. Let's go. There you go. Who's the fucking best? Come on, guy. Now hold that 140. If the bid quickly leaves, you're going to get a chop right here. Because the first attempt to come out of the bottom, usually you'll get some chop. But now for you day trading psychopath who just bought 1,000 shares at 139.75, sell it! There you go. See, buying 200 shares, obviously you're risking less money. But the day trader, the Kenny Glick of 1997, we used to start with 1,000 shares. It didn't even matter. We had unlimited buying power and no fear of loss. We were just a bunch of psychos. And we'd be buying 200 shares at 139.75, goofing around like a piker. I'd be in 2,000 shares of this thing at 139.75, already banging out 1,000 shares here at 40 and a quarter, taking my $750 profit, letting the other 1,000 breathe. But now I'm a piker with 200 share lots. But I'm just here to show you how to make money. You can take any size you want. You see how that trade developed right in front of us by just go checking on our old friend Myrna? And here she is again. Oh, Myrna. Oh, Myrna. Oh, now you're loving Myrna. You see what you get here, friends?
Oh man, the other day I got here, he was trading this. I'm not sure about this guy. I mean, he was trading this Dix thing, man. I mean, shit. He tells me the trade works every time. The first trade I do with him, it's a loser.
Uh-huh. Did you buy some Myrna? You're sitting here thinking about the Dix trade from Tuesday. Right? There you go. You buy 1,000 shares. There you go. Bang. You're still in NVIDIA, right? From 222.50, right? Or you're buying options on the Qs, losing. I told you not to trade options. You want to trade on a Squadushi nothing this day? You got to scalp. Like buying Myrna at 139.75 with $1 risk, banging it out here. Banging it out. There you go. Who just sold some at 42.43? That guy. There you go. 50 on the bid now. Woo! Trading's not so hard when you know what you're doing. And this guy you're talking to, I know what I'm doing. The question you should be asking yourself, well, so if a guy who knows what he's doing and you're so skilled and educated, why the hell did you take that Dix trade on Tuesday? Because I'm an idiot. That's why. Give me a break. I did one bad trade in 6 weeks. You keep harping on it? No, actually, Kenny, we've moved on. You're the only one still talking about it. Well, you shut your mouth then. Tell me my business. Somebody told me I don't talk about my losers enough. Well, now you're going to hear about it for the rest of your life. Never forget Dix. You see what I'm saying, folks? Right? I was just about to get up. Now I just made myself $350. Did you? Still talking about that Dix trade, huh? It was a $2 loss, really. Started buying it at 137.50. At 135, the trade was over. I was the schmuck about it. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying about chart patterns, right? There's no VWAP involved here on the Myrna trade. That's just isolating the idea. Oh, I recognize that pattern. That's why it's called chart pattern recognition. Hey, recognize that? I do. What does that look like? Looks like an Andy Dufresne ass crack, doesn't it? What happens if they come out of the Andy Dufresne ass crack? They usually go a little bit higher. Oh, okay, cool. Buy it. Right? That's it. Now, what you're hoping for, let's say you did buy 1,000 shares. And if you did, I love you. You sold, right? You didn't sell at all. So now you're hoping, now you put, let's say you break even, right? So you bought 39.75. You sold some at 140, 140 and a quarter. Right. All right. It's not a fantastic trade, but there's nothing really else going on today. All right, cool. So now you would put your stop at 39.75 because you're assuming that this next turn will get to the last range break, which is the 141. And if you get over the 141, then we should get to the 142.50. Right? But you don't trade shoulds and hope and faith. You trade price. So you do the right thing. You bought 39.75, you sold 40 and a quarter, fantastic. Now you raise your stop to the 39.75 so you can't lose. You might not make any more money on the last lots, but you've sold. And that wasn't bad. You got the burst, you sold into it, whatever. Squadouche day, you expect squadouche. And here comes squadouche right in your face. Right? When you're squadouche from the opening bell, which we pretty much were, there's nothing going on today. This is as dead as dead. You have to trade now. As if that's why when the Qs went to the bottom of the range, I was like, all right, here's your chance. All right, when the Qs went to the bottom of the range earlier, And I was like, here's your chance. It's the same trade from last night. And that was the only really good buy of the day, right? Getting involved here, selling 1750, selling at 719, and now you're back into that chop. There is literally nothing going on. But now look at the Dollar General, right? Now you don't feel so bad. You got some of what you wanted, and then it disappointed you, and you got out. And then look, the 129 and a quarter to the 130.80 happened again while we were sitting here, only to give it all back again. So now let's say it does break down and you faux show again over there. Maybe you do that 2-point scalp again. That's what when you're in the ebb and flow and you understand price, then the world, every stock is on your watch list. You could do whatever you want. And that's what me and Solid have been trying to do for the last 15 years is build an algorithmic trader out of humans. It's very difficult because we all think emotionally. But if you just think through the prism of price, put robot voice on if you must. This stock just confirmed my bias. I'm going to buy it. Put my stop here in case I'm wrong. Oh, I'm wrong. I just got stopped out. Or I'm right. Sell some here, raise stop. It's the same trade over and over again. That's why the easiest trade of this century was last night on NVIDIA. Second easiest trade of the year, Kohl's last night was Kohl's yesterday. Best Buy, I'm not going to say that was easy, but if you were waiting for it like I was, it was. Still not easy. You're risking 2 points on 500 shares. That's $1,000. Not everybody's ready to do that, right? It wasn't a riskless trade. And I'm happy it worked, but there's no guarantee on any of this stuff. But when you see a stock that's gapped down on earnings get washed out at the open, fake them out, shake them out, you're just buying it back. You're buying it as it's going up. And if it was to roll again, you eat it. And you say, well, that hurt. And look at the Moderna now, right? If your stop is 39.75, which it should be, look where it went. Holy shit. Did it go to 39.75? You freaking bastard. You don't think the market is in my head? Because I am the market. That's insane, right? But then again, it's not insane. And that's a random price. That was just the price that I bought it at. And that random price became the pullback price. And you don't think the market revolves around me? Stop it. I am Neo. I am the Oracle. I'm the Chinese guy with the keys. I'm the weird dude with the twin brother with the hair. I'm everybody in the Matrix. That was some bizarre shit right there. But look at that pullback. Became a faux show. And if you were waiting on it with a bias to buy Moderna because nobody's shorting a stock that's about to go to 500, you really think it's going to 500? Why don't you own it? Shut up. I don't own stocks. But I do think it's going to 500. They've cured skin cancer. Supposedly. I actually don't even know the story. I just know they've done something really, really extraordinary. And you see every pullback is getting bought until that stops happening. I'm going to be biased Moderna. And yes, Moderna will be on the watch list tomorrow. Guess what? It'll be on the watch list on Monday as well. Moderna is always on our watch list from now until eternity. The same with CBRS, SKHY, SPCX, QQQ, UVXY, AGQ, any stock that reports earnings that you may or may not have heard of. And then you start seeing these days for what they are. The same exact day as every other day, like HPQ. You didn't come in thinking about shorting HPQ because their earnings were terrible, did you? What?
You probably thought Omar was a stoolie because of what Sosa said. You bought that line.
You know what a chaza is? Yeah. See, it's always fun for me. Even when I lose, it's fun. It's always a learning experience. Right? Since that Dick's trade, right? I haven't taken a loss. Every time I have a bad day, I come back extra better. Whatever the hell that means. Extra better? Yeah. Better the next day. And if you don't know that reference, why don't you go watch a few movies, all right? Ah! Sorry.
You thought Omar was a stoolie because of what Sosa said? You bought that line.
He's a real sweet human. He's one of a kind. Watching, waiting, looking over his shoulder. He's running out of time. Rush, rush to the halo. Rush, rush to the halo. Yo, yo, no, no, yo, rush, rush to the halo.
Well, if you're still wondering what movie I'm talking about, really, come on now. Second Night or the Bad Guy. Listen, if anybody's still in the Myrna trade or just bought the Myrna trade, fan freaking tastic. Finally, something else to do other than watching Nvidia grind higher, right? But you saw how that trade, when I say trades find you, listen, Nvidia, no joke, right? I was looking to play the short, and there was two of them, right? The one that I liked the best was the first VWAP break because I came in long. As soon as I woke up, I sold my Nvidia, sold my Qs, so then I was free. Right here. Sold it, immediately got short. Made a little bit of money. That's all she wanted to give me. So I tried it one more time, made a little bit of money. That's all she wanted to give me. I was planning on covering and going long. Missed it. Look at that. Faux show, bro. Hold from on top. Rally. Comes back. Faux show, bro. Holds from on top. Had plenty of times to buy it for another 2.5, but didn't do it. Didn't get it. Moving on. Don't want it now. So I went and go check the Myrna, right? How many times have we seen this stock doing exactly that? And luckily, we stumbled onto it as it was starting to form the second ass cheek. You don't see it? There it is. Almost the coveted Dolly Parton Kardashian bottom ass crack breakout VWAP reversion trade. It actually is. You don't see that too often, but actually, I don't mention it. The last time we've seen a Dolly Parton double Kardashian bottom VWAP break was Carvana going back about 5 years ago. But you got a faux show, bro. And then you got, there's your Dolly Parton. And now you know all the reasons, right? See? And this is all, just imagine this blue line wasn't there. Again, the only reason the blue line's convenient right now is that's your target for what we've seen happen a million times. Stocks that go down that are still under overall accumulation, because we all know Myrna's going to 500. Do we know that? I don't know. That's just my opinion. I legitimately think the stock's on its way to all-time highs. This is just one massive consolidation still from the first massive update. I love this trade. I love this stock now. Because if it was going to give it all back, it would have been down under 120 by now. And it's been every day we watch it, the selling is met with usually some buyers. So it's just under a massive accumulation. And inevitably, we're just inside the massive candle. We come back outside. We're going to go to the 196 where we went to in the aftermarket that day. But if it does break down under the reaction candle, then the bears have the right premise and it could close the gap, which could be nasty down to 86. And while we're waiting, who put the cools out on the floor? Hey, so while we're sitting here doing squad douche, right? Let's talk about my nephew again. Let's talk about Fred Strong. Let's talk about my biased long-only traders, right? The long-only trader was loving CRM because you got your Andy Dufresne break, right? I was left out of this party because my bias was to look for a short. Obviously, the bias was buy it, buy it, buy it. Finally, because I was waiting and waiting and waiting after it couldn't break 250 13 different times, I finally shorted it for a couple of points. All right. I left some money on the table, a lot of money on the table, because the idea when you short at the highs, you're hoping for a VWAP retrace. You dummy, Kenny. Why would you cover your entire position at one price? Because I was very happy about making my 2.5. Done. Could have got back in. But now the VWAP retrace happened. And then suddenly my nephew springs to life. Oh, wait a minute. I've wanted to buy CRM all day. Now it's pulled back to the VWAP and held it. Maybe I should buy it off the VWAP at 244.50 using that price as my stop, nephew says. And now nephew's in a trade at 244.50, risking $1 as it reverts back to the prices where it came from. Uncle's shorting it, nephew's buying it. Everybody's happy. We're all getting paid. Right? That's what you do on a squadushi kind of day. You got to play the ranges. That's why when I looked at the Myrna trade, I'm like, oh, buy it. Right? As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, good. It's starting to form the ass crack. I know exactly where I'm buying. And I was like, you know what? Why are we waiting for? So I bought it at $39.75. Bang. You waited till 40? Okay, cool. And now you got your, hopefully your VWAP retrace where I would sell some more of it. You raise your stop to that 141. If it gets to the 42.50, breaks it, holds it from on top, then you're thinking another 4 or 5 points. And that's how good trades happen. Price action, chart pattern recognition, VWAP's playing its role, but it's not that important. As more importantly is the Kardashian bottom and the Andy Dufresne. And buying 130, you know, again, it's not a super trade, but it's better than losing. All right. The question is, do I buy that gold set now? Let me see. I probably just missed the window. Probably sold out already. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be here all day. I got nowhere to go. What time is it? What day is this? Tuesday? Wednesday? Oh, today's Thursday. Oh, my God. And by the way, this market that we're in right now, this is what you're going to get tomorrow and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and next Thursday. And I don't even know if anybody's going to be here on Friday. Is the market even open Friday? Don't we get a day off before Labor Day or after? What? Nobody should even be here Friday. Some of the worst days to trade in the history of always is the Friday. If you're the degenerate psychopath that needs to trade from 8 to 12 the day after Thanksgiving, why don't you just give me the money right now? Because that day usually sucks to trade historically. So you know what I usually do on the Friday after Thanksgiving? I don't show up. You know what the second worst day to trade in the history of trading is? The day before Memorial Day. Nobody's around. It's usually an awful, choppy, gross mess with nothing going on. You know what I do now that day? I don't show up. And I'll tell you what happens the Friday before Labor Day weekend. It's the third worst day to trade. Usually nothing happens. So I tend not to show up. Christmas Eve, we used to not show up either because we're too busy getting yelled at by our wife to get the rest of the decorations done. But now you can't not be here Christmas Eve because that one day where we had the Christmas Eve massacre, everyone's got that in the back of their minds because there was one Christmas Eve where holy freaking shit, it was nuts. We had like a crash out of nowhere, and it was pretty awesome. But it was scary and bewildering. But that's got to be like 7 or 8 years ago. I don't even remember when that was. but usually a squadushi kind of day. But listen, if you bought Nvidia and you didn't sell it like me in the aftermarket, this is what we came for, right? I told you, man, that Nvidia was something different. You don't see Nvidia gapping and going and with nobody selling it. This is just a juggernaut. And yes, it's going to 500, and of course they're going to do another 10-for-1 split. This is going to be a $50 trillion company.
That's kind of overvalued, isn't it?
Sure. Overvalued, yeah, because that matters. Oh, by the way, if the guy's still here, economic data doesn't matter. Neither do earnings. Geopolitical stuff, that don't matter either. Did you guys notice economic data came out this morning at 8:30? Let me show you the reaction of the market. There. That was your reaction. Sorry. Here. That was your reaction to the economic data. You know how many people cared? 0. Nobody cares about economic data. You trade the price action afterwards. Is anybody still talking about that CPI data from 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was really important. Making major decisions here. I'll tell you the one thing I'm kind of getting sort of excited, but I don't want to get excited, is the silver trade. Definitely trying to put in a real base. The buyers are finally outweighing the sellers. I'm still a shorter of the AGQ calls, way out of the money. So again, obviously I'm rooting for silver to go up, but I'm still stalking those AGQs and I'm going to sell more of them. So if this thing happens to get back to the 100 and they start, those AGQs, $635 calls go to $3 or $4, I'm definitely selling those. But this is important. If we can break out, we're looking at 100 on AGQ next week. I love it. All right. My order is ready. Should I push the button? $5,740? What am I doing? I bought every one of these dumb sets. I don't know if I should buy this one. It's nice. It's probably worth about $2,000. Huh! Don't do it. But there's only 1,500 in existence. And I get the Liberty and the 250 privy. Look at that. It's beautiful. Oh, I thought it was only a half an ounce. At least you're getting a full ounce, man. Oh no, you're getting an ounce. You're getting an ounce of gold, an ounce of silver, for $57.40. That ain't bad. Yeah, I guess I'll buy it. Can't stop me now. I better stop making more than $43 on some of these trades to pay for this shit. By the way, I found the James Wood card that I can't find, even though that sounds bizarre. There's a blue chrome version of the 2025 archive. There's about 50 of them in existence. I cannot find one of them anywhere. So now I feel like I'm on like a treasure hunt. 2025. Nobody knows what I'm talking about right now. By the way, Q's new highs. Where's my overnight guy? You still in? By the way, this is the grindiest, most bullish day you'll ever see, man. Look at this. This market just grind. I mean, this is funny in a way because literally the last trade I said on the Qs was to buy them right here because that's the same price we bought them in the aftermarket yesterday and the same price it pulled back to in the overnight session and the same price it pulled back to today. A couple of faux shows. They're really trying hard to get you out. I mean, by the way, the HPQ, it turns out I kind of blew this trade. That's another $600. This one I had 1,000 shares of. But anybody trade this better than I did? I got out the half and hasn't looked back since. Q's new highs. Does anybody know they're still alive? Does anybody know what movie that's from? I know one guy knows. Ride the Snake. Does anybody know they're really alive? Come on. Yes, that one. But there's a blue version. Yes, I've got the black. I've got the pink. I got the silver. Apparently there's a blue one out there. And now I must own it. But I am not going to be paying some ridiculous amount. Oh, by the way, the guy that wanted $128,000 for that other card, I offered $40 for it. He'll sell it to me for 38 grand. He took off 120 grand. I was like, $40, final offer. I wrote back to him, 3 years from now, when that card's still in your drawer, my offer remains $40. But if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I also collect baseball cards, and I'm a huge fan of this guy, James Wood. So what I used to do when I would, by the way, I found a stack of JT Snows in my house the other day. Would anybody like a few JT Snow rookie cards? I found a 250 lot with 5,000 Mike Devereaux 88 Fleer. Remember that, Aaron? Still waiting for Mike Devereaux to start. Whatever that guy. I found two full box. No, sorry, one. It was an 800 Mike Devereaux cards, along with a stack of JT Snows. Would you like some JT Snow rookie cards? I also have some Paul Molitors if you'd like, and some Pete Incavilias. Anybody like some 87 Fleer Pete Incavilias? I got as many as you want. What the hell are we talking about right now? I don't know. You guys like baseball cards? You like gladiator movies? Anybody still long HPQ? You got a 1 minute multi-day VWAP break now. And what am I doing? I'm sitting there goofing around with Myrna. But look at that. I mean, it's 1 o'clock now. Time really just went by pretty quickly on a Squadushi day. It's usually time stands still, but you know what it is? We had enough to do that kept us interested. Q's new highs. There's your 720. I cannot believe it took this long to get back to the 720. But man, if you were patient, congratulations. And don't forget to sell. Yeah, the 80s, it ruined the whole industry, but the industry is so freaking back now. But I don't understand how it's not going to get reflooded. So I'm collecting this guy, James Wood, right? So me and AI are having a conversation the other day. That's right. And we were trying to come up with the amount of James Wood cards. The guy's only been in the league for 3 years, 5,185 different versions. And that's every version. That's every graded, every slabbed card, every alternate version. And it's a real number because I already have 100 varieties and I'm nowhere near. It's unbelievable. Back in the day when we were kids, you had, well, originally had one card with tops, and that was it. 80s, we got your Donruss and the Fleer, and then the Upper Deck and somewhat Score, if you know about that. You had some subsets and ultra, some update sets, but now every version of every card has colored versions, parallel versions, different pictures of the same card on the same card, and then those cards are now have subsets of their own, which they make this called that artificial scarcity. So they'll take the blue version and they'll stamp 1 of 10 on it. So now there's only 10 of those refractor blue versions of that same card. And then sometimes there's a 1 of 1 of that subset. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But then you start you go down this rabbit hole. You want to have a couple, and they say you're trying to buy the rainbow. It's ridiculous, but I don't understand how this is not another version of the 80s junk wax oversaturation of the market, because the demand right now is insatiable. So if the demand just comes down a little bit, all these kids are going to be left with a bunch of worthless pieces of cardboard, especially if you slabbed it and got it rated at a 9 or a 10. I think that whole industry might collapse. I would love it. I don't know how you feel about that, but if you guys know about collectibles, the whole industry's pivoted. Well, it's been a 20-year pivot, but now if you're not slabbing your card, you're never going to get the most value out of it. But it's artificial value. And I just can't understand how they're just oversaturating the market and they're just going to kill the market again. I hope not. But man, some of my cards that were losing, I never thought they'd have a bid on them. Literally, I equate everything to trading. That's why I became a stock trader, because I used to be a baseball card trader. It's all the same kind of thing, selling into strength. Like, for instance, I got an autographed insert of Cam Schlittler. I didn't think twice. I'm selling. People are offering, $1,000 for it. I wound up selling it for $780. I was laughing the whole time. Really? And the card had a damage on it too. I was like, "You're gonna pay me close to $800 for a card that came out this year?" Sure, thanks. Especially on a pitcher. A year from now, it blows out his arm. Nobody remembers Mr. Schlittler. That's why I'd rather buy James Wood. That guy, he's like the reborn Dave Winfield. So listen, if you guys were sitting here with these queues long the whole day, congratulations. You got the 720. Cash out, baby. So now, I don't know what you want to talk about. Really, I got no trades on right now, but I guess it's really important to talk about the overall health of this market, right? This chart pattern that developed over the last 3 months is why I've been overly bearish. So that's what I was saying. I'm ultra short-term bullish because of what's happening right this second with the NVIDIA. Cannot be bearish today. Overall, I do think that these levels still might be tested, so I'm bearish, let's call it midterm. But long term, I think all of this, once we get out of this consolidation, we're going to break out and get to 820. I still think it could happen by January, like we predicted 4 years ago. We're still on the right path. And then once we start breaking out again, we might not go parabolic like this move from March to June, but everybody who was debating whether or not to buy the dip, they'll come buying it in. They'll come buying when it breaks new highs. It's the only market in the world where people don't like to buy stuff on sale. They'd rather buy it when the frenzy's going on and everybody's breaking out. But again, I became really bearish, especially after that Thursday monster. And then we engulfed that Thursday monster and broke the low. That's when I became super bearish, got paid. Now I'm flat. And I don't know how to feel anymore. And we're going into a bearish month. So I still think now today's candle alone is our next move. So let's erase everything we know about the market for a second. The next move is going to be this candle. Wherever it closes, let's assume we have the high of the day that's in. It's probably not, but the next series of days, if you come out of today's highs, we're going to break out and probably close this gap. And then probably resume our course upwards. Tomorrow's candles stay inside. Next thing you know, it's Monday. We're inside this still big candle. Wherever we come out of it will be the next bigger move. But chances are we're not going to come out of the candle. We might just go dormant now because it is the time of the year where we do go sideways. So now big day, sideways. And the next big move will come out of this candle itself. And if I'm right, it's going to resolve itself and break down under the 1450. And I'm going to short the hell out of everything again. Or it's going to consolidate and bust out. And I'll have to pretend that I'm a bull and I'll stop buying. But right now, I'm in the wait and see mode like everybody else. And once again, UVXY is telling me there is no fear in this market. We are definitely inevitably going higher, 100%. Because, like I explained to you in April, short UVXY. Wait till you see how quickly it starts to disintegrate. And then when it really starts to disintegrate, it won't have an update for a month. Here it is. You can't even get this thing to go up 10 cents now. And it's also telling you that the market is completely healthy. Everything's fine. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing ever will matter. So if you're worried about war or the president or inflation, don't be. Be worried about it when we start actually breaking down under these key levels. Then you got something to worry about. Right now, this is just one massive consolidation. And this year, opposed to most other years, consolidation has actually led to a couple of sell-offs. And we got it. And we got it. And we got it. We might get it again. But now we got to wait. This candle tells the whole story. You guys gamble on sports? Did you put your bet in on the Jets? Take the under. Oh, but they look good. Sure. Whatever the under is, take it. Because if they lose their first game, they're starting the season 0-6. Right? If they don't beat I think it's the Titans on the road to start the season. Who exactly are they beating? Right? Oh, they got a new quarterback. Does it really? Oh, right, sure. See, this is a trend trade, and this trade's been working for 51 years. The Jets suck trade, right? So if they don't win, right? So they'll be 0-1. They ain't beating the Packers 0-2. They ain't beating the Lions 0-3. They ain't beating the Bears 0-4. They might beat the Browns, but the Jets suck. So 0-5. They're definitely not beating the Patriots 0-6. There's your first win of the day. They might scrape together a win against the Jets. So now they're 1-6. You think they're going to beat the Raiders? The Raiders suck, but they got a new quarterback. Nope, loss. So now you're 1-7. Chiefs 1-8. Bills 1-9. Chargers 1-10. Dolphins, you can't beat the Dolphins twice in one season. Now you're 1-11. Broncos 1-12. Cardinals, there's a win. Now you're 2-12. You're not going to beat the Patriots because they never beat the Patriots. So now you're 2-13. You might beat the Vikings as a surprise because nobody's going to give a shit by January 3rd. Oh, the Jets pulled off a miracle win today against the Vikings to go 3-13. Then they lose to the Bills to end the season, and another 4-win season. Welcome to the fucking Jets. They lose that opening game, you're looking at an 0-6 start again. And the season will be over by Halloween, just like every year. How about them Giants, right? Same scenario. Everyone's all excited about them, right? Ooh, loving me some Jackson Dart. Oh, yeah. Oh, the receiver's coming back. Ooh, Scatterboo. Oh, yeah, Scatterboo. Yeah, he's going to run through people and then break another leg and an arm and a face. Guy's going to be out of the league in 2 years the way he runs. You know he's not going to last. Everyone's excited about the Giants. Short the Giants. They're playing Dallas opening day. When's the last time they beat Dallas? 1972? They stink. The Giants stink until proven guilty or innocent. Let's see what the Giants' schedule is. Same thing with the Giants. They win opening day, they got a chance, but they're probably going to lose. Lost to the Giants, lost to the Cowboys, 0-1, lost to the Rams, 0-2. Now they're 0-2. They might squeak it out. The Titans still stink. All right, cool. Now you're 1-3, right? What do we got next? Cardinals, yeah, it's always a tough game for the Giants for some reason, but let's give them a win there. So we're now at 2-4. Commanders, now you're 2-5. Saints, you're 2-6. Texans, you're 2-7. Eagles, you're 2-8. Maybe you'll squeak one out with the Commanders. Now you're 3-9. Jaguars, that's a tough one. Let's say it's a loss. Colts, you might win. Yeah, you don't lose. Lose. Yeah, you might beat you're not gonna beat the Seahawks. Browns, maybe. What do you got? 5 wins, maybe. Jets with 4, Giants with 5. That's why I watch SEC football, baby. Starting on Saturday. HPQ, baby. Who's got it? It's a 1-minute multi-day VWAP break now. Who's still in? Not me. Jets are plus 300 for 8 wins. I'll take your bet. You want to take the over 8? I'll take the money. I'll take anybody's action. You want over 8 on the Jets? Step right up. Step right up. I'll take anybody's action. Over 8 wins. They won't win 8 in the next 2 seasons. 4 tops. How long before a flat chart becomes an Andy Dufresne? Now, that's a good question. It's any extended period of time, right? So right now, this is kind of an Andy Dufresne in itself. Not really. You've come out too many times, but usually it's down and then sitting around. Give me an example. Urban. Let's see what you're looking at. Actually, Urban is the Andy Dufresne. There you go. It's actually pretty nice setup right there because it just double top. That's classic. So you got a little faux show, but you obviously got no bro, Andy Frame, and you're just doing squadouche on a squadouche kind of day. But now you got I drew it. It's almost perfect. The breakdown price is 80.29. The high here is 80.19. The high here is probably 80.19, right? 80.12. So what I would do is those three prices I would divide by 3, draw a line, and we call that the Zach Hurwitz moment. VWAP comes trailing down. Now you got the triple area with a VWAP break. That's when you want to buy it. But there is a subtle faux show right here. You did break new low, but you never came back. Here, you broke a new low, but you broke it. Here, you broke. Here, you finally tested it. So if you're looking at this one, fake out, shake out, you finally did test it from on top and hold. So now the longs had something to hang in there with. But, again, these are the days where even the best trader, it's very difficult to make money when there's no real follow through and you're just meandering around. That's why we call it squadouche. It's a technical word, squadouche. That's why that CRM, right? Normally I don't get out of the entire position at one price, right? But when I got my 250 to 247.50 on a squadouche kind of day, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take my 250 and skedaddle. And it was a pretty awesome trade, really. I mean, I nailed it. 250 short with only a 75-cent risk, got the 250. If I didn't want to let it breathe. And look, I could have made that's another 244. That's not a bad trade. But the one thing you don't want to be doing right now is short, right? The market's in bull market grind you to death mode, right? That's why this last faux show, bro, look at that. That's not a bad entry. 1750 gets you 1720. That's why NVIDIA, even though I was looking for a reason to short it, there's no reason to short it. So now you go back. 225 breaks, you're looking 227.50. 227 breaks, you're looking for 230. Where is it? Closing in on 230 by now, right? Ain't nobody selling. Ain't nobody selling. Who's selling? By the way, this is why I hate bull markets. Then again, if you know what you're doing, this is not a bad day. I just wish I didn't sell this HPQ. And you know what? All this chopping around, I should have bought the Qs on that last faux show, bro, at the 1750 and banging it out here at 1720. That wasn't a bad trade at all. At least you got your 250. For the love of VWAP, right? One more faux show, bro, for the road. Right? All right, if we're gonna sit here all day, let's take a break and get some food. I don't know. Hanging out, squad douching our way to profits. By the way, I have no losses today, right? I hope nobody's losing money. These are just boring, grindy trades, right? So if you guys have any more questions, I'll hang out. Solid, what are you doing? You hanging out? I'm going to put a song on, get some oatmeal, get my blueberries on, do a couple of 100 push-ups. I don't know. Socks L? Let's see. My thoughts and prayers. My thought is that it held prior day VWAP, and if I would have seen that, I'd be long already, and I'd be selling some right now, and I'd be raising my stops to the 321.60 and the 321 and the 120.35. And right now I'd be hoping that this next turn busts and gets me up to that to 123. So I'll put some tunes on and I don't know, we'll hang out.
I'm going to some place where I've never been before. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. We can jump in the water, stay drunk all the time. I'm gonna leave the city, got to get away. I'm gonna leave the city, got to get away. All this fussing and fighting, man, you know I sure can't stay. Now baby, if I can leave the truck, you know we got to leave today. Just exactly where we're going, I cannot say, but we might even leave the USA. Cause it's a brand new game I wanna play. No use of you running, or screaming and crying. Cause you got a home, man, long as I've got mine. Ooh.
My wife's always running a good time.
Had a good time.
What's up?
I just want to say hi. Are you online?
I am.
Okay.
It's
call
all
me
right.
back.
It's a squadouche kind of day. You're calling to remind me to get the steaks?
No. Something else.
You can talk about the pit, barbecue, the band was jumping, the people too. I mess around. They're doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around. Everybody was juice. You can bet your soul. They did the boogie woogie with the study roll. They mess around. They're doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody doing the mess around. When I say stop, don't you move a peg. When I say go, just shake your leg and do the mess around. I declare do the mess around. Yeah, do the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around. nervous there, boy. Now you got it, boy. Oh, mess around. Don't mess around. Mess around, boy. Now this band's gonna play from 9 to 1. Everybody is gonna have some fun doing the mess around. Ah, doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody doing the mess around. Now you see that girl with that diamond ring. She knows how to shake that thing, mess around. I declare she can mess around. Ah, mess around. Everybody do the mess around.
I'm so tired of crying, but I'm out on the road again. I'm on the road again. I'm so tired of crying, but I'm out on the road again. I'm on the road again. I ain't got no woman just to call my special friend. You know the first time I traveled out in the rain and snow, on the rain and snow. You know the first time.
All right.
So listen, if you are still grinding it out, NVIDIA queues. Hey, where's my overnight guy? You managed to, did you hang in there, NVIDIA? See, that was a bad choice on my part. But I stick to my choices. I woke up in the morning, they were both up, sold. Right? See how you didn't have to hold the overnight, right? So what did we learn? Don't hold overnights. It's never worth it. It's never worth it. When something works 5% of the time, that's basically never. Even if it was 10% of the time, it's basically never. You didn't need to hold even NVIDIA overnight. 2250, my exit was your entry. It was a great time to buy it. But I actually shorted it from 2250 to 2150. Bought it back at 2250. Anyway, Qs, right? After that one chop, right? It was the same trade as we did last night. And now, more importantly, right? Where's my Myrna long traders, right? I don't even want to talk about it, right? Because the guys in the back thinking, I didn't hear you mention it still, right? Remember when I mentioned the Myrna trade and I said, hey, you might as well just hang in there with this trade because now you got a good price. Are you still in it? Right? You see how this day is really not, there's not much going on, but it's not a bad day at all. And now the Myrna, oh, you almost forgot you were in this trade, right? Now, what are you doing here with the Myrna? You're required by law to finally sell some more at VWAP. Congratulations, right? And also, see this trade that we got involved here on this candle at 1204? If this was a really, really super bullish day, it wouldn't have taken an hour and 10 minutes for us to get up that much. But today's one of them days where you had to wait. Boom. Now don't sell all of it, right? And did anybody get the 140 calls? Because that's kind of the only option play I was thinking about doing today. And I don't know if anybody got the 140s. I found them to be a little pricey with just a day left, but there's the play. $3 got you $4. Ain't bad, but I'd rather scalp I'd rather buy 300 shares at 139.75, banks them out at 140 and a half. Now 142 and change. Now you got 100 shares left, and now you get to hope for the best. Because now we got it, right? We got what we came for. All right. And you see how it's Myrna, right? Best trades of the day, best buy for me. And again, I hope you guys made some money on this one. Myrna found us just by going and checking on it. Oh, look, an ass crack on the bottom. I love that trade. Reversion to the VWAP. Now you got over the VWAP. So now you're definitely selling some here because that's our law. That's not a debate, by the way. You must sell. Aaron's sending the order. It's on rangefinder. We already put the trade in. Now you're selling. So now we'd send another order to remind you. Again, if you don't know what we're doing, we got a guy in here. Say hello, everybody, to Double A. Double A is going to be sitting here trying his best to navigate what we're doing live for all the peasants and the serfs that don't want to hang with us for 4 hours a day, and they're going to get alerts with their phone. But even better, what we're doing is at the beginning of the day, if you don't know, I send a video out of 2 or 3 stocks. I send the QQQ separately because I'm trying to keep that separate because that's usually a 0-date option play. And then the video I'm sending out, I'm just describing some of the setups that I'm looking for. This wasn't one of them because I was looking at Best Buy and CRM, CRWD, NVIDIA, Qs, right? This was just me checking on my old friend. And you better know that reference. Old friend. Kirk, I've done far worse than hurt you. Anyway, but you see how this trade's turning out to be a nice, lovely trade. And for the peasants and serfs that we all are in the world of finance, again, we're just the losers, according to some people, the day trading peasants and serfs trying to scrape together a living, right? We do it better than anybody else because we identify risk and reward, right? Rejected at the prior day VWAP earlier, definitely short. Didn't participate in the short. So I come along and everybody thinks that I'm such a bearish guy. No, I'm bearish to a point to set up my brethren who don't know what they're doing. That's why we went long the Moderna. After you see range break, range hold, ass crack gets formed. Andy Dufresne, ass crack break, buy it. Oh, trying to scare us. Nobody's scared. You ain't scared. You ain't scared unless it breaks the low of the day. Just like that awful Dollar General trade, right? I wasn't scared. I would have been scared if it would have broke down under the 128 and the 127, and then I would have been scared. I would have eaten it for, a $600 loss, but I managed to grind myself out. And instead of $500 loss, I made $46, which is the best $46 of the day. Anyway, but going back to the Moderna, right? This trade is still on, right? So now you've sold. Now you don't. These levels down here are irrelevant. Erase them. So now Aaron sends the order and reminds you, don't be stupid. Your new stop is the 141.50 hard out, or for you less risk tolerant people, the VWAP now has become your stop because you just got paid, baby. Right? Patience pays again. Now you stop. You could scatter them, which is also the most proper thing to do, right? 142.29 and 141.50. You got 80 shares left, put 40 here, 40 here. You got 2 shares left, one's here, one here. You got 2,000 shares, 1,000, 1,000. It's always the same trade. Size of your position is irrelevant. I bet you're wishing you bought 1,000 shares now at 39.75, right? Next time you will. Because once you identify the risk, then it's about how comfortable you are. Okay, I'm risking 85 cents. If I buy 1,000 shares, that's $850. Do I want to risk $850 on the trade? If the answer is yes, then buy 1,000 shares. You want to risk $160, $170, you did what I did. You bought 200 shares, goofing around, having a good time. Well, 300 shares. It's always the same trade. And that's what's awesome about what we do. Right? There's only a few things a stock could do. Right? Dip, rip, roll, chop, go sideways, which is what we're in right now mostly. But that sideways also just tests your patience. Inevitably, you come out of that sideways action. And if you're down and you come out of the sideways action, you revert back to the VWAP. That's why we bought Myrna. CRM, if you get the sideways action and reverts to the downside. That's why I was shorting CRM. And for a moment, I was short the crowd, which I actually might go back to the crowd because I grinded out a whole dollar on the trade. Luckily, I got out because it'd be a loss now. But now it went to 226. And in setting that whole thing up again, maybe I do it again. Because you never really did get the full reversion. So let's scroll through these right here. Well, you know what? If I was going to short it, it'd be right here. Because you see how you're back below. There's a peak. There's one candle there, one candle there. That's the double top break. And now you just gave that back. So you want to short right here. And it's a limited risk trade. You're talking about a $224 stock. Risking 2 points. Standard procedure. And hopefully it works because I'm in. Oh, all right. We're in now. Now, normally I wouldn't be putting a trade on at 121 in the afternoon, but yeah, whatever. I just spotted it. I was like, you know what? I might as well put it on. I ain't risking too much. Again, I did 124 shares. It ain't nothing. It's just, we'll see. And it's telling me I'm wrong already. All right. I'm not really concerned, but if it then again, this is where, again, so far right there, the market just said, you're a dummy. Why'd you do that for? I'm already losing money. Not a lot. But I'm committed now. And as long as it doesn't break that price. But if it flirts with that price and then starts to roll over, that's when I add. Because that's telling me I am right. Or if this consolidation doesn't go anywhere and it starts to roll, I might actually add when it breaks to 24.50. Every trade's an adventure. But to my other comment, normally I'm not looking to put trades on right now. The day's in hand. It's squad douchey, but, I just spotted this. So, start a little bit. If it goes against me, it's not changing my day too much. But, I'm actually kind of upset that I got out of the last, I had 500 HPQ left and I got stopped out at pretty much the worst price. Almost the worst price. But, again, there was a pivot. The pivot was the half. So I put my stop at the half and it went and got me. All right. I'm going to go eat my breakfast. I'll leave it running. Wait, let me get my glasses. Question. JC wrote an article today suggesting tightening credit spreads and a weakening dollar is bullish for stocks. Degenerate shorter. How does this square with the thinking that we may be headed down? Doesn't change the way I think. I gave you the entire premise for the rest of our lives. Today's candle. So you could write articles all you want. You break today's lows in the next couple of days, I'm shorting the market. Right now, it's a long. Still is a long from last night. Short term, I'm mostly bullish. Remember, I'm immediately right now still bullish. I'm just short term going into September with this little downtrend that's still intact, bearish. But overall, I'm not kidding. I think we're going to see 3,000 on the QQQ within 10 years, I'm massively bullish. I am Dan Ives bullish. I'm structural move bullish. I just love shorting stocks because nobody knows what the fuck they're doing except for me. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I do. That's it. What's there to be bullish about? You just tacked on 10 extra points on NVIDIA. Ain't nothing to be bearish about. This thing just tacked on 10. Gap and go. Woo. Bull market. Like I said, as soon as what was the first thing I said out of my mouth? What was the first words out of my mouth when NVIDIA reported earnings and it went down? I said, bull market's back. If the first move would have been up, I would have been like, uh-oh. But I didn't say that. As soon as those numbers came out, what did I say? Bull market, baby. If it would have spiked up and rolled, bear market. But it spiked down and went up, bull market. And now this could carry now. The only reason I'm not 100% bullish on all time frames is that we're going into a notoriously scary month in a still slightly downtrending market. And I'm talking Qs, and I'm just talking Qs. Right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Roll, tried to rally, failed, lower high, lower high. Now we're trying to come out of that mini downtrend. We'll see. That's why today's candle alone, today's candle is the next decider. I decide. Right? Wherever the top of this candle is, and now it broke new highs. So Monday or tomorrow's Friday, come out bullish, come out bottom bearish. That's why today is the most important day in the history of trading. Not tongue in cheek, it really is. For the Qs, this is the most important candle of our lives.
These are the days of our lives. And I'm being serious. This is the most important day in the QQQ's history of its dumb, stupid life.
Because whatever happens next, either we break today's high, we're going a lot higher. We break tomorrow, we break today's lows. In the next couple of days, we're going to be trapped in this bearish-ish environment. And that's the only thing I need to know. And then what's the next earnings report? Where's the next faux show, bro? And if you haven't heard, I don't even own stocks, so I don't really care what the market does. I just want to make money. The only stock I really care about is Rambus, this fucking piece of shit. Where's the bull market here, Rambus? How come it's not up 20 points today? What the hell? That's why I hate owning stocks. Got NVIDIA ripping. I got nothing to show for it. I got a 15-cent gain on Rambus. The hell is that all about? Damn it. All right, I'm going to eat my breakfast. Oh, man, I fucking hate Rambus. Guys, if you don't know, if you're just meeting me, I own this stock. I've owned this stock for a considerably long time. I freaking was up pretty sweet, and then I just went nuts. Bought more at 80, bought more at 120, bought more at 150 because the structural move was telling me I was right about it. And I still might be right 30 years from now. I'm an investor now, exactly. But man, oh man, just like any other trade, if I'm going to sit here with this pain, when this thing breaks out of this range, I'm buying 1,000 more shares. I'm putting 100 grand into this thing. Because if it pops back to that 130, then I want to be able to make something on me, wasting years of my life. Ugh. All right. Stick around. I'll be back. But Solid's around. If you haven't met this guy, he's taken everything that we're doing here, these red lines that I draw, he's got them algorithmatized. If you haven't met him, he's the guy that you're inevitably all going to be. You might not be as good as a singer or a dancer or a chef or a guitar player. You might not be as handsome as he is, but you'll be right there as far as algorithmic VWAP trading with our man Solid Jello, who basically we both learned all this stuff by experimentation, and Solid has taken what we've done here and really created something that makes it even easier to follow along. And if you haven't met my friend, his name is Soligello. Coming to the main stage, I think, if he's here. I'm not sure if he is. But if he's coming to the main stage, he likes long walks on the beach and a bacon-wrapped scallop. He's handsome. He plays the guitar. Coming to the main stage, it's Soligello. Or not. Sometimes he just comes when I do that stuff. All right, you guys on YouTube, yeah, call me. And if you just dump the rest of your cues, I love you. Good. Sell them at 720. Take the rest of the day off. You finally got there. All right, be the careful. Don't churn your account. I'll be back shortly. I guess Sal's actually not around. All right, I'll be back.